One of the big words that gets used all the time in our culture today is content. We talk about watching content, making content, but what is content exactly? Content is just the packaging of ideas or thoughts. And content can be delivered through video, through photo, through words. For us, content is Instagram or TikTok. And when we talk specifically about following the way of Jesus, there is no shortage of content. We have online sermons, Christian influencers. There is Christian content everywhere you look. In fact, the hashtag Christianity gets used across all platforms 3,000 times a day. The hashtag Jesus gets used 5.2 thousand times a day. And the hashtag Christian gets used over 13,000 times a day. In a world that is full of videos, pictures, descriptions, and comment sections that are all trying to influence the person that you're becoming, how are you ever supposed to be discerning? How are you ever supposed to know who to listen to and who not to listen to? How do you answer the question, should I be learning from this person? I'm going to be honest. It creates a really complicated situation in the world that we live in. It is so difficult to know and understand who we should be learning from as people who follow the way of Jesus. Can I tell you though, this is not a new problem. In fact, this was a problem when the New Testament was being written. John talks about this in the book of 1 John. In 1 John 4:1, he says this, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see if they are from God. For many false prophets have gone out into the world." John is giving us a really important warning. Not every person who claims to be from God is really from God. Not everyone who claims to follow the way of Jesus deserves to be trusted at face value. Instead, we should test their spirit. The next right question to ask is, how do I test their spirit to know if it's from God? I think there are a lot of ways that you can test the spirit of somebody who claims to be from God, but I want to give you a couple today that I think are really easy to implement right now. What do they believe about Jesus? Do they talk about Jesus? Do they say that Jesus is Lord? Do they believe that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and that no one comes to the Father except through him? Do they believe that salvation is in Jesus alone? Do they believe that Jesus died and was resurrected after 3 days? If you're being taught by or influenced by someone who never talks about Jesus, that might be at least a yellow flag to say, hey, what is this person really about? Does their teaching agree with the Bible? It might seem like that's an obvious one, but can I tell you, it's really easy for someone to take pieces of the Bible and say whatever they want. So when they teach God's word, does it put the honor and glory on God? Does it proclaim the good news of Jesus Christ? Or does it make it about us being good people, us having self-worth? Does it seem like they use the Bible to sell merchandise or to get you to buy something? Whatever they're teaching, go back to God's word and see if God's word agrees with what they're saying. Anytime you come across a teacher, a preacher, or an influencer, you need to test them against God's word. Figure out what they believe about Jesus and see if the words they're saying match up with God's word. The internet gives us access to so many amazing teachers, but it also opens the door for false teachers. As you test teachers, if you ever feel uncertain, come talk to somebody that you know and trust. Talk to somebody you know follows the way of Jesus. Talk to somebody who affirms that Jesus is the way. Talk to somebody who believes that the Bible is God's perfect word. Work together to figure out if this person that you're learning from is worth learning from.